Welcome back to the FRC Top 25 for week number 3. We have 25 fantastic teams, fresh batch of them here to show off that you voted on based on, of course, our community poll that we have. You'll get some more data coming in with ELO from Caleb Sykes, and we'll debut some healthy debate on maybe some teams that didn't quite make the top 25 that we'd like to see in there. This is all about the teams. Get ready for FRC Top 25. Your destination for first content, updates, and gaming.
Welcome to the fun.
First Updates Now is supported by Stryker Careers. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. First Updates Now is supported by Kettering University. Kettering University hosts 3 co-op employment fairs each year for incoming and current students. Participating in the co-op employment process at Kettering is a great way to begin turning your robotics experience into a professional career to earn money towards graduating debt-free. If you are a senior, it's not too late to apply at kettering.edu/apply. Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for week number 3 for First Updates Now. I'm Tyler Olds.
I'm Christina Tia.
I'm Justin Montoys.
And I'm Mike Stark. So, Justin, welcome back. We were talking pre-show that this is literally years it's been since you've been here. So, I'm glad to see you back. This is your first time on since the Rapid React season debut. So, I want you, introduce yourself a little bit and tell us all about you.
I'm extremely excited to be back. It's been way too long. I do mentor Team 3015 in Rochester, New York. We've been doing this for a long time. I think we've finally discovered this is our 10th real season or 11th real season. It's been great to be involved for so long, and just excited to get back into it this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great having you back, man. We definitely missed you these last 2 weeks, but for good reason. So just maybe how about some general, week 3 discussion, Justin. Your team competed early week 3. Christine, you guys run the back end there at week 3. So just any kind of general comments on week 3 in particular, or just Rapid React in general and how it's progressing, or anything along those lines?
I'll go first. Yeah, we competed at Finger Lakes week 2, and then immediately went to Tech Valley Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we competed twice, finalists twice. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. I'm the drive coach this year, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. And it's been, each year there's I feel like in games past, there's been little things that I could nitpick that I don't really like here and there. I really don't have a whole lot of problems with this game. And I was having a good discussion with some of my fellow mentors that this might be the most robust game piece in a while. It's been pretty consistent and hasn't been a lot of failures, hasn't been a lot of team complaints. The PSI seems to remain relatively consistent. And overall it's a good game. To be honest, when I kick off, I didn't love it. But it's a fun game to play. It's great. It's great for the audience to watch. And it's been a great game to get back on the field with.
There's not a shortage of game pieces either, worldwide. So
yeah, right.
That's with the pandemic is a little surprising, actually. So
I know. Yeah. I was blown away. I thought that they would the balls would kind of get ripped up, or the cargo would get ripped up pretty quickly. I walked by crates of brand new cargo at events that weren't used. I know that they kind of get loaded up for many events, not just one. But it seemed like the game piece really did survive a lot. The robots have been awesome to watch. The climbing is fun. It really is a great game.
Yeah, I would agree with pretty much everything that Justin said. It was interesting, I know, within district at least, to be competing again. Was this week 3? And it's a weird kind of midpoint of the season where you have some teams that are just starting their first event and they're hitting a real field for the first time. But then you have some teams where this is their second event and they're about to go to another one. So it was definitely at least at the event that I attended this past weekend, it was a good mix of teams that had never really competed before and some that were, pretty well acclimated to the field and to the just flow of the game. So I'm excited to see where things go from here. Definitely was wild to watch teams at the event that I was at progress even within a day in terms of consistency of just contributing to their alliance. Teams, we have a lot of teams in our district that obviously don't have the same level of mentorship they did pre-COVID. So they came a little less like, I'm not saying prepared. I would say like they're not shooting up in the high goal quite yet, but some of them were doing it by the end of the weekend. So it was really cool to see like the progression of teams and to see the progression of gameplay, especially by the end of the weekend. I'm excited to see events this coming weekend that are happening and see how it evolves, like just in other regions of the country. Because I know, I don't know, it's a whole nother level
Yeah,
in Israel. So I'm excited to see where things go around here.
Did any of you guys get a chance to see ISR3 at all?
No, not yet.
I watched the finals.
I want to feel good about a robot for a little bit longer.
Yeah, give us a minute, okay?
I dropped my kid off at my mom's, right, and came back, and I was able to catch finals 1 and 2. Oh my god! Like it is.
It's otherworldly. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely not. I mean, and a lot of people with bated breath or waiting to see what 254 has and that sort of thing. Man, I don't know how you stop that team, even with defense.
I know.
Like that, their turret just snaps the target so well. The moment a team backs off for a moment, that robot's able to shoot. And you know, I commented on Chief Delphi posted this. There's still improvements to be made with that team because we watch finals too. They do miss like probably about 20-25% of their shots still. So can you imagine like on top of that? I mean, they literally beat their own world high score twice today, like or in the last 2 days. Literally beat themselves twice on the world high score. Absolutely insane. Speaking of which, by the way, they will that team is not eligible for week 3 because voting was closed prior to the event going, but you can vote for them and other ISR 3 and 4 teams in week 4. And then also the event that Justin was at, which was the Tech Valley Regional, which was a midweek regional, that is eligible for this week, but SPBLI event 1, which is going on this week right now, they just had quals 1 day today, that will be part of week 4 voting as well. So if you don't see a team on there, just make sure they were eligible for week voting as we go through. Anything else on week 3 before we go into some generals on the top 25?
No, I think I'm ready to roll.
Okay, so for those who are new, real quick, this is a community voting poll. We have around about 200 votes this week again. I think with week 4 coming, we might start to see that escalate a little bit more too, so we'd love to get more and more voting as we can in here. You will see some additional stats as well too from Caleb Sykes, who handles ELO, which is a ranking system, so you'll be able to see for this week only. So it's only for teams that were eligible to play in the top 25 this week. You'll see where they ranked in ELO, in their auto scores, in their teleop scores, and their end game scores as well too. So get a little bit extra data. What does it all mean? Well, pretty much nothing, but you know, you can make your own opinions on all that stuff, right? So everything means something, right? So, but as we go in, other than that, as mentioned, we do have a giveaway we'll be doing later from our friends at Vex Pro. We'll be debuting the clips of the week, which I totally forgot to upload to YouTube as a scheduled thing, so I'll have to do that right after the show ends. And as I'm saying this, I'm remembering this now. But we'll get to see clips of the week, and then we'll be talking about some teams that made the top. We'll actually run down the top 40 before the top 5 starts, and then with that, we'll each pick a team that we feel should have been in the top 25 in our opinions. At least as well. So everybody's going to have teams that they feel should be in the top 25, shouldn't be in the top 25. We're going to give you our honest opinions. You may or may not like it. And we just hope you enjoy the show overall. And once again, don't forget to vote. Voting opens around 5 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. Sometimes I open it earlier if I want to have a life and go enjoy things. But we will close it at 5 p.m. Eastern on Monday. You can get the links in our Discord, all that fun stuff as well. So with that said, I think we're ready to get into the FRC top 25 for week number 3.
Sounds good. And just like what we've been doing in the last 2 weeks, is we've kind of changed the format a little bit. We're taking 5 teams at a time, and I've really personally enjoyed the change. I think it kind of just flows a little bit better. So with that being said, we're going to start out with our 25th ranked team. That's going to be team number 88 from Bridgewater, Massachusetts, and Bridgewater Raynham High School. It's TJ Squared, an overall record of 21-12. They were the finalists at the New England District North Shore event. So playing back in week 1 at Granite State, they would exit in the quarterfinals. They were looking for more this past weekend. They would end up 4th, captain that number 3 alliance, and they would take down the 6 and 2 seeds to meet number 1 in the finals. After narrowly winning finals match 1 with the score 99-91, they would lose the next 2 and take home the silver. Congrats to 88. Good luck at Hartford in a couple of weeks. Kind of looking at this a little bit, I was like, wasn't sure quarterfinalists and finalists finalists. There's some teams that we're going to talk about a little bit later, that have kind of had some better performances. So just because I wasn't sure if they were a little bit too high here, but Christine can give us some info here. But she let us know that they had some issues with their cam wires in the finals, but regardless, before that, put together a really incredible alliance and had some really solid scores there, and that their climber, the original design was 40 pounds and has worked down to what they have now. So anything else that you wanted to add there, Christine, about TJ Squared?
Yeah, so aside from them being my absolute, one of my diehard favorite teams since joining FRC, way back in 3rd grade, they're an absolute legend team. There's a Woody Flowers Award winner, Liz Califf, the voice of New England, aside from Andy Grady, that's on that team. But they also have the legendary Joe Johnson that's been mentoring their team since about 2016. His son was going to, I think it was BC High. He worked with BU for a little bit and then ended up down at 88 and has been there ever since. And it's always so cool to watch the robot take the field and see just what mechanism Joe Johnson and his crew of students went in on. And this year it was their climber. I was talking to one of their lead mentors, Steve Vieira, who is also one of our awesome refs in New England, and he was saying that the original design was 40 pounds and they managed to get it down. And I distinctly remember watching a match this weekend and watching it climb, and it was smooth, it was efficient, and it was awesome. I'm excited to see how they perform down in Hartford. I wish them the best of luck. Their alliance was definitely one of the best at that event that weekend, and the fact that they were able to put together such a well-rounded alliance, I was really blown away by it. So well done to them. I'm excited to see how they do the rest of this season.
Perfect. Good deal. Thank you for the insight on that. All right, so that was TJ Squared in our 25th spot, and in our 24th spot will be Team 1493 from Albany, New York, and Albany High School. It's the Falcons, an overall record of 15-3. They were the finalists this past weekend at the New York Tech Valley Regional. So with their last win in 2018 at this very same regional, the Falcons were looking for another blue banner. They would end up first with a 3.2 ranking score average, and they would select 30-15 and 58-81 and cruise through quarters and semis, but would lose in 3 matches to the number 2 seed. So Justin, obviously being on 30-15, can maybe fill us in a little bit here, but I do think they pulled out the wild card out of this, so I think we'll be seeing them in Houston. But Justin, can you add anything about 1493, being intimately familiar with them?
Yeah, they were a phenomenal team. I mean, they were the class of the field as far as just pure shooting goes. The accuracy was awesome. The robot was just so simple. We got, after seeing it shoot on the field so well for a couple matches, finally went to their pit and was able to look it over. Super simple, but just so effective. Their drive coach and their drive team, their mentors, their students were great to work with. We were hoping that we would be able to ally with them, and it was just a lot of fun to play with them for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. So that was 1493 and 24th. Moving on to our 23rd ranked team, that's going to be 1987 from Lee Summit, Missouri, and Lee Summit North High School. It's the Bronco Bots. Overall record of 13-6, they were the winners of the Heartland Regional. So finishing 6th with the 2.41 ranking score average, 1987 would be selected number 1 overall by 1706, thanks to 1987's quick swerve drive robot and being able to shoot from anywhere. Really especially accurate when they're near or up against the launch pad. And they do add a traverse climb there at the end. This is a kind of want to maybe make this just a mini actually that's going to come up here in a second, I think. So they went to 3 matches in the finals as well, and a team actually here coming up will as well. So I kind of wanted to have a mini conversation about that. But congratulations to 1987, and good luck as you compete again at the Central Missouri Regional coming up at the end of this month.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about this team is that this is a team I've gotten experience a couple times. I've gone to Greater Kansas City Regional before, so I've seen this team in the past. This is definitely a team that I think needs to have a few more eyeballs on it. Obviously, their teleop needs to improve a little bit more for things, but their auto's been really well, their end game's well, and they were a perfect alliance partner for 1706 in this event at the Heartland Regional as well, too. So keep some good eyes on this team moving in the future.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at their auto, of the teams competing this week, number 1 in auto and number 3 in the end game. So
Yeah, that's
definitely
true.
room for improvement there in the middle. Their overall ranking at 38 for their ELO. So they can improve their middle game a little bit. They'll just be really good from here on out. All right, our 22nd ranked team is 3940 from Kokomo, Indiana, Northwestern High School. It's Cybertooth, an overall record of 34-2-1. They were the winners of the Kokomo and Columbus district events. So after winning their first event, and I don't think they appeared in the top 25, Cybertooth wanted to make sure people knew just how good they were and did that by taking home their second district win of the year this past weekend in Columbus. They finished second with a 3.16 ranking score average and were taken number 1 overall. Not only a really aesthetically, looking and pleasing robot that they have, they perform just the same. I couldn't quickly find current videos from this past event, but they have a really cool, and I think it's a lot of people's favorite, like this fadeaway shot that they have in auto. They shoot their first ball and kind of back up as they're rolling over it, and the robot's still moving. They shoot it on the move, and it goes right in, which is pretty cool. They would take home the Engineering Inspiration Award as well, in addition to the win. So they take home that gold, silver Kling Bling. 2 banners on the season this year, 3 medals. Congratulations to Cybertooth.
Yeah, just a big shout out to Nick, Liz, and all the other Andy-Mark
Yeah.
friends that we have on that team who are mentors on Cybertooth. I know, talked to Nick a couple times through here, and he's super pumped and dedicated to this team and all in. And it's great to see those dividends paying off. Cybertooth's been a team that has kind of been on that cusp for a couple of previous years, and this year 2 district wins, looking fantastic.
Yeah, and look at this. This isn't the IRI building, is it? Or is it just maybe all their
no, I don't. I think just all gymnasiums in Indiana are humongous.
Kind of
No, IRI is not orange.
Yeah,
That's-
IRI is
I've only
Lawrence,
been
Lawrence
once.
North, but yeah.
They only employ 1 architect.
No, that might actually be
Yeah,
true.
one I could say.
Sincerely,
Yeah,
might be
seriously.
true.
It makes
'Cause I think
total
they have,
sense.
that overhang like that, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the bleachers like meet up to that overhang. We don't have those
Right.
where I come from.
That's
That
pretty
makes
cool.
sense.
All right, and rounding out the first group of 5 in our 21st spot is going to be Team 4911 from Seattle, Washington, and Kings High School. It's the Cyber Knights, an overall record of 27-8. They were the winners of the Sumamish.
Good luck.
I had to look it up. I had to save and phonetically spell it on my screen. I still spelled it wrong. Sumamish district event. After exiting the semifinals at the Glacier Peak event, 4911 looked to the Sammamish event to improve on that, which they absolutely did. They would take the number 1 seed with a 3.08 ranking score average. Their swerve drive does so well around the field and just has a really great accurate shot and a nice looking robot as well. So congrats to 4911 on your win. So this is kind of where I wanted to, and it's kind of a nice segue too. So this is yet another team, just I think it was 3 out of my 5 teams that went to 3 matches in the finals. Could absolutely be coincidence. But for Justin and for Christine, who have both seen 2 events this year so far, did you think there's a reason maybe that we're seeing, more, not just absolutely, dominant teams that are just running through quarterfinals, semis, and finals? Is it's potentially a reason that we're seeing some more, competitive matches in the finals?
I would say honestly, a big part of it is we've only seen up to week 3, and at least like in my experience with what I've seen in districts, it takes a little bit of time for teams to be able to actually get on the field and really like iron things out and like go back and iterate slightly before their next event. I would also say that it's really difficult if you're at an event that has kind of a smaller pool of teams to put together a robust enough alliance that's going to be able to go head to head at, and get the hangs in, get all the shots that you need and do it all. So it's easy to kind of blow past the first round or 2. And I think we're seeing some really, at least in our district, we're seeing really like, I would say tight ships run like rules that we haven't really run into before. I know at our event this past weekend, we had teams that were getting called for like tethering on the field without permission, just like little things here and there that, it's been a little bit, we haven't all been back at events, but teams getting nailed for that during playoffs rather than, qualifications. That from what I've seen at events where we've been attending is kind of been an issue. But what about you, Justin?
Yeah, I just think teams, like a lot of what you said, teams are going to figure it out. The thing that we're noticing is that and why I think the number one alliance has been so strong is that early on the climb ranking point was actually a little bit easier than the cargo for a lot of teams, especially if you have a traverse. So you get a traverse team that can seed high. They pick another traverse team. There's only 4 or 5 traverse teams at the event. That 30 points is hard to overcome. But as the field gets deeper, as teams get better at shooting, all that stuff starts to even out a little bit. And I think as we get through the midpoint of the season here, and especially heading toward district champs, I think the playoffs are going to be very, very close in many instances, and it's going to be a weird bounce of a ball one way or another that's going to decide a lot of events.
We're going to see a lot of not number one seeds winning, I think, once we get to DCMPs as well.
Yeah, that's great. Just kind of seeing how the game has evolved and how strategy might be changing, and it could very well be just complete coincidence. But you guys have brought up a lot of great points too, so thank you for that insight. Tyler, do we have a read from one of our sponsors here?
Yep. Yeah. Before we get into our next seed, which is going to be 19, I just want to give a shout out to Stryker, and we're going to watch a quick video on how you can graduate debt free by working some awesome co-ops and financial aid at. Actually, this is going to be at Kettering University.
When I was considering where to go to college, one of the biggest things for me was figuring out how I was going to be able to pay for college. And it wasn't really until I came to Kettering to one of the Dog Days of Summer events that I figured out how I was going to be able to do that. And it was actually because of the senior chemical engineering student. She was getting ready to graduate, and she had told me about all of her phenomenal experiences, both on co-op and here on campus. But more importantly, she told me that she was going to graduate debt-free. And that was an eye-opener for me. That was the first time I'd ever heard that from a college student, and so that's when I knew that I was sold. So really from there, as soon as I came to Kettering, I knew that was going to be my goal. I wanted to graduate debt-free. And I did that through a variety of ways. First, of course, the co-op experience was a tremendous help, but I even looked at ways to work here on campus. So I was a federal work study student. I worked in a variety of organizations, and that not only gave me the extra funds, but also different opportunities to meet people and understand our resources here at Kettering. Also looking at scholarships not only here at Kettering University, but even from my hometown and other sources, all of this cumulatively helped me to graduate debt-free.
All right. So we are looking at, so I got to get it in the groove here, 5 in a row. This is new. I don't know.
It is very new.
We'll see how it goes. All right. So in the 20th spot, I've got team 2168 from Groton, Connecticut, Robert E. Fitch High School. It's the Aluminum Falcons, 28-7-1 overall. We're the finalists of the Western New England District event. So 2168 picked up their first finalist performance of the season earlier this year at South Florida and began their district event journey this past weekend. They were ranked number 2, or they're the number 2 ranked team after quals and captained the number 2 alliance all the way to the finals. They were shooting 3 balls in autonomous and racing toward the hangar to reverse climb at the end. They're a tank drive robot with a sweet turret that makes this robot the complete package. You can catch them again this weekend at Central Massachusetts. So I've also noticed this year in 2168 and some of the other teams that we're going to talk about, a lot of teams that maybe found an early regional to go to before beginning their district play as well. I have a few teams that I'm going to talk about that had a similar strategy. I also would be interested in seeing later on, we can compare how many total events teams went to. So for us, like we did 3 regionals this year for the first time ever because we were trying to make up for that lost time, right? Especially for our seniors that kind of got robbed out of 2 years essentially for us. So I don't know if teams are more willing to get that extra play in just to try to compete more and make up for some lost time. All right, so moving on to the into the teens, we have team 4206 from Fort Worth, Texas, Nolan Catholic High School. It's the RoboVikes, 29-7 overall, and we're the winners of the Fort Worth district event. So like the Aluminum Falcons, they also started their season in South Florida where they came home as finalists. RoboVikes began their Texas district event play at the Fort Worth event where they also ranked second. During alliance selections, they were quickly scooped up by the number 1 seed 3005 and along with 3355 cruise to the district event win, topping over 100 points 4 times. Congrats to the RoboVikes, and you can catch them again next week at Amarillo. I almost said that wrong.
So I will say I am very happy this team made the top 25, but I'm a little surprised that they did at the same time. The Fort Worth event was, in my opinion, quite overshadowed by Austin this week. So it was really cool to see that 4206 was able to get into the top 25, as it's very well deserved for this team.
Yeah, and I think it's another big kudos to the district model as well. Like, teams in Texas, and obviously take nothing away from 148, 118, and a couple others, but teams in Texas often get overshadowed by, if you have the Dallas Regional and maybe I forgot what some of the other ones were at the time, but it's hard to stand out a little bit. But the Robotics were able to go to an event without 118 and 148 there, and they could really shine and show their stuff and getting the recognition they deserve here.
The same thing you're seeing in Canada as well, too, that we've seen, right? The last couple of years, exact same thing that's been happening in Canada.
The level of play has really increased there.
Yeah,
and, we're starting to see that in some of these districts to follow. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to the 18th ranked team, which is 1706 from Wentzville, Missouri. Holt, Timberland, and Liberty High Schools. It's the Ratchet Rockers, 17-2 overall, and with the winners, the Heartland Regional. Earning an impressive 3.33 ranking score average, especially with a capable but rarely used traversal climb, they have the number one seed after quals and asked 1987 and 1598 to join their alliance. The robot features a swerve drive with an extremely capable turret and shooter, which allows for lots of scoring, especially in quals, as the other robots on the field scurried to their hangar. Winning 17 of 19 matches is an impressive feat, and they look to keep it rocking next week at the St. Louis Regional.
This is a team that I've had my eyes on for quite a few years now. They have been on the top 25 before, but I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people see this team are like, who? Like, when you're a team that's from the Missouri, central Midwest area, flips between North and South champs depending on the year. It's sometimes hard to get good traction for things, but Ratchet Rockers has been a team that has been looking just phenomenal and has really started to dominate this area of the U.S. and just continuing on. A great robot with a great shooter, and really looking forward to what else this team can bring.
For sure, and I always recognize him as a fellow RR, forward R, backward R team. All right, so from the Ratchet Rockers in 18, we go to 17 and 74-57 from Indianapolis, Indiana, Purdue Polytechnic High School. It's Super Duper Robotics, 18-0, undefeated winners of the Columbus District event. So after waiting a couple weeks to hit the field for the first time, 74-57 did it in impressive fashion, building off a sensational 2019 rookie year where they picked up 2 district event wins. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a lot of match video from their event, but the robots certainly can climb, shoot, and score, giving them all the tools needed to be successful. Their alliance kept out an impressive 100 unpenalized score and a perfect start 8-0 to their season. So congrats to them, and they'll be back on the field this weekend at Tippecanoe.
This is another one of those teams that's only been around for a couple of years. I'm going to just omit 2021 and 2020 for the most part. That has absolutely been starting to take Indiana by storm and really paired up very nicely with Cybertooth at the Columbus event. So this is another just great team. Their first year they came out, and after their rookie year they were doing fantastic things. So really cool to see this team from Indiana and Indiana districts getting some great love from the community as well too this week.
For sure. And I do the same thing, Tyler. When I was doing my research for these teams, I was like, okay, 2020 season, 2019 season, just right? go back twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Two district event wins for them in their rookie year. And then back to their winning ways already.
The one thing I just want to say that I love about week 3 here is that week 3, we were talking a little bit about this pre-shows. Week 4 and beyond, honestly, the overall heavier regionals and events that are coming where there's more powerhouse teams are going to be a lot more common. And I kind of really love that about this week, that there's so many teams that are really good, but sometimes do get overshadowed on a world level. And there are still a couple we'll talk in the top 40 that, didn't quite make it that we felt should be in it. But man, it's really cool to see some of these teams in the top 25. A couple of these teams have been here before, but we're starting to see some new teams, new faces. Great thing for that.
For sure. All right. So my last team in this group of 5 in the 16th spot is 2075 from Grand Rapids, Michigan, West Catholic High School. It's Enigma Robotics, 32 wins, 4 losses, and a tie overall. And with the winners of the Calvin University and Muskegon district events. So they started off week 1 with a big dub and followed up that performance this past weekend. They were ranked number 2 after quals, but quickly joined the number 1 alliance for the playoffs. Along with 33-57 and 61-28, they played flawlessly in the playoff rounds, comfortably winning all 6 matches on their way to their second blue banner of the season. 2075 was shooting their 5-ball consistently and confidently, and it very often was the difference maker. They came out of autonomous with a solid lead and usually kept it up for the rest of the match. So an awesome robot that looks tuned up and ready to play for a Michigan district title. Good luck to Enigma Robotics.
We do have a behind the bumpers on this team that we filmed, as well as their alliance partners, 3357. They lost at 3357 at their first event at Calvin State. So great to see these two teams pair up and really have a very, very strong performance at this FIM event.
Yeah, it's just crazy, Justin. You had quite a few multi-district, multi-event winning teams in yours as well. And, we're still in the top, not the top 10, but the bottom 10, I guess you could say, for this week. Just like there's so many good teams this year that are just really consistently performing at all events that they're going to.
So, and I think it's going to be great. The data is going to be really tough to quantify. Yeah. But just looking long term, all these teams finding success, even if you're not winning, just teams scoring balls in the goal, contributing to alliance, even climbing low. These are the building blocks that teams use to get better and better and better. Mm-hmm. And I think this game did have a lot of opportunities for that. Teams are taking advantage of it, and you're seeing a lot of teams really performing well, contributing to their alliance, and you're seeing some great match play because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Very good.
All right, so I'm going to be picking up where Justin just left off, and we're at number 15 right now. And at our number 15 spot from San Jose, California, taking it to the West Coast with Leland High School, it's Quicksilver. So Quicksilver took the field for the first time this season at the San Francisco this past weekend. They took the number 1 seed at the end of quals, which, I wasn't really looking at the entire team list that was there, but when I popped in to check on it, I was like, what? 971's not in first? And then I saw it was Quicksilver and was like, oh, obviously. So they picked up 846 Funky Monkeys and 8852 Drew Robotics and breezed their way through the quarterfinals. They ran into some issues in the semis with yellow cards, and I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to watch Region Recap to find out what they were for. But they pulled it together and moved on to the finals and faced a really tough number 2 alliance, captained by 971. And looking at the match scores, they really squeezed out both of those wins in 2 with final scores of 57-54 and 79-76. They took on the Innovation and Control Award, which was no easy feat at any West Coast event, I would say, and will be competing week 6 at SVR. I was not super shocked by the final scores. I know at a lot of events this past weekend, the finals and a lot of elims matches were getting really, really close to the point where, it was only a few points or maybe a ball or a foul point that was making the difference here.
You can, I'll just say, for those who don't know what went down at the San Francisco Regional, I would highly, highly encourage that you listen to FRC Roundup last night, where we go into it quite a bit. There were some very controversial things that happened, including a team not being allowed on the field before Finals 1, despite there being a 7-minute break for them to do introductions of Finals 1. And there's obviously couple of Big Chief Delphi threads on it too. So we're not going to get into too much depth here on the San Francisco Regional and the ending. Let's celebrate the teams here. If you want to hear a bit more about some more subjective opinions on what went down for that, please go listen to FRC Roundup from last night. It's up on YouTube and already has quite a few bit of views on it. Obviously a very controversial ending to this event.
That's not what I like to hear.
No, it was not a happy ending. Let's just say that.
Yikes. Anyway, moving on. I'm definitely gonna have to go watch that roundup. We're at number 14, and we have from St. Charles, Illinois, and Clear Creek High School. It's Ponage. They had an overall record of 13-5, and they would end up ranking 5th after qualifications with a rank score of 2.54. Ironically enough, with Poofs dropping their robot today. They would be picked by the number 2 alliance captain of 2481 Roboteers and 5442 Mechanical Monarchy, and they'd fall short to the number 1 seed captained by the legendary Wildstang, but took home the Innovation and Control Award. We'll be seeing them again at Seven Rivers and the Midwest Regional.
So I was at Central Illinois, saw quite a bit of insight into the teams that competed here. Man, Ponage, a tale of 2 days. Day 1, auto looks great. Rest of the robot, not so much. Day two, they really started to get things going together. You know, their end game, I'm going to be honest with you, I think they're one of those teams where when they improve enough, they're not really going to care about their end game that we've seen from like Argos, for example, at this event, or like a 1690. But man, Ponage has an extremely high ceiling ahead of them for their robot. When they were on target and going well, they looked absolutely tier 1 phenomenal. It took them a while to get going, and their alliance had some unfortunate circumstances with some breakdowns, especially on 2481 with their robot, which is another phenomenal machine that I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But man, Ponage, yeah, Tale of 2 Days, really good robot, and I would just say when they play their next event, you really have to look out. I think they're going to be at Midwest Regional off the top of my head. You really got to watch out for this team.
Yep, so they're going to be at Seven Rivers and Midwest. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
3 regionals for them, yeah. Oh.
Absolutely. All right, so we're moving on to number 13, right, Tyler? I just want to make sure I didn't
13, yep.
bump into anything. Cool. All right, so at number 13 from Romeo, Michigan, it's the Biting Bulldogs, and they were winners of the Greater Pittsburgh Regional with their friends 27 and 695 this past weekend. So they went undefeated in quals and seeded number 1 with an average rank score of 3.72, and they picked up their friends 27 Rush out of Michigan and 695 Bison Robotics. They'd go undefeated in the playoffs and take home the quality award, and they're going to be competing again in week 5. When I was quickly kind of going through some of these match videos, I was really surprised at just how consistent their shooting was in the high goal. It wasn't anything super, super fast, but it was crazy consistent, and they built a really good alliance for the playoffs. Their third robot, from what I had seen in the match video, played some really smart, great defense. I don't know if anybody else had anything to add to them.
I honestly didn't get a lot of chance to watch Pittsburgh. This was probably one of the few events I didn't get that much time to tune into personally.
PJ the ref says, I have an opinion on this, ... Somebody says, Skyhawk is down, and we'll move on.
Fellow FIM friends and hosts seem to, I'm going to guess, disagree with where this team should be, but no context obviously has been given. So,
oh, look at 27 zipping around there.
Yeah, well, we might talk about them in a little bit too.
Nice. All right, so we'll move on. We are moving on to number 12. So in the number 12 spot from Tremont, Illinois, it's the Robotiers. They finished 13-5-0 as the 3rd seed at a very competitive Central Illinois regional. They selected Ponage 2451 and 5442, who we had just talked about, and they captained their alliance easily to the finals. After a tough finals 1, the alliance fought hard and narrowly lost by 7 points to a very stacked number 1 alliance to take home the regional finalist trophy. The Robotiers wowed the FRC world with their reveal last week, showcasing easily the most unique robot of the 2022 season. Their massive yacht of a robot features a 5-wheel swerve, which I don't even understand, with a traversal climber that drives up the side of the truss to hook directly onto the level 4 bar. No big deal. Their sharpshooting was also nothing to sneeze at, and we'll be expecting to see them fighting at the top St. Louis regional next weekend.
All right, so I have opinions on this one. So you all know how long I've been talking up Robotiers and how they have been one of my favorite teams for a very, very long time. Now, a couple things. One, their robot is called
unbiased opinion.
Well, their robot is called the SS something, by the way. I forget what it's called, but it does look like a ship, right? Or like I think it looks like a battleship, and it is called that. So a couple things. Their climber that they had, we'll be releasing a behind the bumpers, and I think a behind the glass. Where actually they're behind the glass. We were bad juju for them because they had a really bad match for that one. But it's good to see sometimes with that. So their climber on there, they're going to be adding some sensors that kind of line up better, which I think has been a big weak point with their climber. SS Cupcake, thank you. So it's really cute, isn't it? So I think once they get that going, that's going to be phenomenal for them because it did take them quite a while to line up and get where they should be. Now, second thing, this team has an incredibly high ceiling, but they did have some issues, some breakdowns for things, a couple accuracy issues, and actually the most importantly, ball acquisition timing I thought was a little off for things. So this is a team that I have no doubt they will be a top 5, top 10 team in the world after an event or two. But I think number 12 is a bit high for them for their performance at CIR. I love this team, and I still have them in the top 25 because of their what they were able to show still. But I do feel there were some other teams that probably should have been higher ranked than what this team should have been this week.
Fair enough.
But cool rollout. 5 Swerve is nuts. You got to, when we release it behind the bumpers, you got to check it out. It's really crazy.
Sounds like some complicated programming. So moving on to number 11, bringing it back to New England, we have Team 5813. From Concord, New Hampshire, it is Team Morpheus, and they finished their official NE First regular season with a 33-4-0 record at 140 district points, which is pretty good. So they have 2 event wins and a ticket to Houston, all but punch. So Morpheus has been a team on the verge of breaking through for a number of years now and have finally arrived on the global stage. After winning their first ever blue banner last week at Pine Tree, they took home another at the North Shore District in Reading, Massachusetts. Morpheus finished calls with a 3.91 RP average, missing out on just 1 RP after 12 matches. They selected fellow undefeated team 125, the Neutrons, and team 5563 Phalanx. Morpheus utilized their consistent 4-ball auto, teleop scoring, and traversal climb to secure their way to the number 1 seed. This little wood bot from New Hampshire is showing teams how building what you know how to do can take you to very high places.
So, regardless of what event you're at, to have 4 RPs through 13 matches and 3 RPs in the 12th match. Or I said that wrong, but you already said it the right way. That's impressive and incredible, and that's really amazing. That's definitely the highest we've seen this season, I think, by far, 3.91.
I believe so.
High side
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they definitely played a really smart game, especially during qualifications when it's such a mixed bag of, teams that, like I said before, are showing up for the first time and may not have everything together, but they definitely played a really smart overall event, and it was a lot of fun playing with them rather than against them. So well done to them. I'm excited to see what is next for them.
Very cool. That's awesome. All right, so that brings us, I think, into the top 10 here. Before we get into clips of the week, right? Let me find where we're
Yep.
at. I'm all messed up. Before we get into clips of the week, we're going to hear a little bit about one of our sponsors.
Yeah, so I'll get this one correct. It's not Jobs at Kettering, right? I flip-flopped that one before. But yeah, it's going to be our friends at Stryker once again. Stryker, top-tier medical manufacturing technology company that loves people in first and come work for them. So if you're looking for a great place to be, let's hear a little bit more about Stryker's culture with this video.
Hi, my name is Anna Sitar. I am a mechanical engineering major from Western Michigan University, and I'm working this summer in the NSC department at Stryker in high-speed drills. The culture at Stryker is like nothing I've ever experienced before. Here we have motivated, driven people who are constantly looking to make healthcare better. And that helps you be engaged at work, be surrounded by people that you enjoy, and also get work done much more efficiently. This summer is my 3rd internship with Stryker, and I constantly want to keep coming back. Every time that I walk through the building, I know that I feel like I'm surrounded by family and I'm giving challenging work that is really making a difference in healthcare. And I see myself working for this company long term because who wouldn't want to work somewhere where you're constantly being challenged, constantly being pushed, and your work is really making a difference in the world.
Alrighty, thank you so much to our friends at Stryker for the sponsorship. We very much appreciate that. So clips of the week, number 3. Thank you to everybody who submitted. Just as a reminder, that's open pretty much anytime there's competition. With the interesting dates of some of the competitions, we close them just to make sure that whatever. So just check out the Discord for that, discord.g/first updates now. To submit, we're right now taking Twitch clips or actual files of clips. So we're having trouble getting the YouTube clips to download. So either Twitch clips or the actual file itself. So with that being said, let's take a look at the clips of the week for week number 3.
Hey there, space boy, moving through the galaxy.
Shh, quiet. No. No, I'm kidding.
Don't be a stranger now.
First, 26:01 teetering. Is it going to be able to reach for the last 15 seconds? Both are good.
Not head to the climber yet. They've got another 2 inside. Logging. Oh, down comes the machine from Concord. The Neutrons with just 7 seconds left have the hooks deployed. Up they go onto the traversal run.
Tight one, but it's in the end. The Blue Alliance does it.
Station. Meet me at bay number 3.
Welcome to the playoffs at the Yakima Sundome District event. Oh, this again. Human player launches a red piece of cargo backwards up the hub. We'll see how the FMS decides to score that this week.
Stay here, soak up the charm. Take a breather. I'm all you needed. Give me your heart. I wanna make you sure I'm the reason to rest up here. If you don't believe in love, you'll be a stranger, baby. Don't be a stranger now.
Oh, I was going to do it again. Now Nick's in my head. Thanks a lot, Nick. Apparently I say alrighty a lot. So
It's my training thing for MCs that I do an all right counter when an MC does a match or a GA does a match.
Oh, right.
How many times they say all right. So if you ever see that in Discord, that's what that
So what,
conversation
as
is
an
about.
MC, what would you
So I teach no transition words, or there's a proper word for what that should be. And like a lot of people come in and be like, all right, our next team, like just say our next team. Like you don't need to say, you don't need to say any sort of transition thing. Like it adds a lot more confidence to the person speaking when you don't do it. And I still do it during, when we're speaking right now, a lot of times where I say, a lot, that's a big Wisconsin thing. But if you don't do that a lot, or you just take a little bit more of a breather or a break, then you don't need to add those words.
I don't know if it's like subconsciously to like break the ice that like it's, I don't know. Yeah, like important stuff is coming, but here's a filler word just to get your attention.
Yeah.
Important stuff is coming. I like that. All right, folks.
That's essentially it. That's right.
Speaking of which, it's going to be our top 10.
All right. Up next is our 10th ranked team.
We're back, baby.
It's going to be, oh, man. So our 10th ranked team is Team 971 from Mountain View, California, and Mountain View High School. It's Spartan Robotics. They have an overall record of 15-4. They were the finalists at the San Francisco Regional. So Spartan Robotics really has been working their way into the FRC, quote unquote, elite category, in my opinion, for the last several years with their eye-turning, uniquely built machines. I think the first, was it Stronghold? I feel like that's the first one.
Their 2016 Transformer robot. Oh yeah.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah. And this year was really no different to that. They have dual-sided intake and a catapult, which is obviously not seen very much. They do have a turret that you'll notice that they need to kind of rotate to pick up the cargo from the corresponding intake that it's in, which is just a really, cool robot to see. And they don't really they're not losing a ton of time doing that. All that is automated and just really quick and fast at what they do. So they would finish third and captain the this number 2 alliance. So again, I think maybe roundup or recap would help us with this, but I'm not sure there was a decline there. I don't know why you wouldn't take 971 off the bat. So I don't know if they declined to move up a spot or they had somebody in mind, but congrats on another amazing machine this year. They're competing at the Silicon Valley Regional coming up. So congratulations and good luck to Team 971.
So I'm going to say a comment on that too, and I hope they don't get offended. But it seems like what they do is they put all these different robot possibilities in a hat, and they just pick 4 of them. And they're like, all right,
that's what we're going to do.
We got a tank drive, a turret, a catapult, and a traverse climber. How do we make this happen, guys?
That's right.
I love it, though. It's so cool, the robots that they come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got somebody in the chat calling Mike old, saying that
I am
they've
old.
been an elite team for the better part of the last decade. Well, I would say they've been one of the most like insanely like design robots. I don't know if they've been elite in the sense of designing a robot that is built to like go and show up and win without having to have like another facet of an alliance partner to really carry them. Not carry, but be a huge component of it. I'm excited to see that they won and did really well because I feel like we've seen them as like semifinalists a lot in the last few years with really insane robots. So
Also, I'm just going to
I don't
predicate
think
for
Mike was too far off.
I'm just going to predicate for our next team. The stream for this was taken down apparently. So I'm desperately trying to find a video of this team for the next one. So because from the time that I brought it to now.
I literally, I think, just watched not too long ago. So that's
so like I think it got taken down
in the last like hour.
Minutes. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But I found a YouTube vid from a qual match for this team. So that
okay, perfect.
All right.
Cool.
First off, and I want to say hi to Fan. And Fan is in the chat. I think I know him from another community, and welcome. I think he does first out in Arizona. So welcome,
nice.
Phantom. All right, our 9th ranked team is 2363 from Newport News, Virginia, and Menchville High School. It's Triple Helix, an overall record of 42-3. They were the winners of the Greater Richmond #1 day 1 event recently, and actually the Greater Richmond #2 day 1 and Greater Richmond #2 day 2, I believe. All 3 of those. So what a really a year that Triple Helix has had. They've won all 3 district events that they've gone to. That, like I just mentioned, the 3 one-day events, and they've taken home an Engineering Inspiration Award. They have a 5 cargo auto, and just outmaneuver the defense with their swerve bot. I really like the passive mechanism that they have for the low climb too. Very unique, just really kind of dominates the auto and teleop portions, and then kind of just has a passive, just hooks that kind of go up to hang there at the end. So they're currently sitting at #1 in the Chesapeake district. So huge congrats to Triple Helix and good luck the rest of the way to them.
Just real quick. So I saw a picture of this team earlier today, and at first glance, I'm like, there's no way that this robot is as good as it is. Because when you look at it, it's not like, it doesn't look like much from a picture. Like if you look at where the robot was like just now for a second, like you see those passive hooks, as Mike was saying, and everything's packaged in this really small area with a low exit shooter as well too. But man, are they able to just scoot around the field, pick stuff up, shoot quickly with that swerve drive that they have. So really cool. Also comment in chat from PJ says that Triple Helix will not be at championships even if they qualify due to the current school policy about traveling. So that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. On a year like this year too. Thanks.
Another thing about this year that Tower kind of jogged my memory about when you said a low shooter. Also, shout out to 2363. They literally saved our intake in 2018. They made their intake for their Power Cubes pickup. Post on Chief Delphi, we literally copied it because we were absolute dogs before we did that. And also low exit shooters. I thought that.
What do you call that?
What?
Like the low exit shooters. Is there a term for that or anything?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I really thought, especially when we were doing early brainstorming, that like a tall blocking defense bot was going to be more of a thing. Like you really wanted a high arcing shot to get over that height limit. Like because we saw in 2016, robots blocking a shot was like it was how teams play defense. I don't know if it's like swerves is so popular now, but like that's not a thing. Like teams are getting away with low exit shooters, and I don't know if that's going to change as we get towards district championships. But I thought for sure we would see third robots be tall, have like a 16-inch blocker that kind of went out like this and just would shut down those teams. There's just not a thing right now.
Totally thought the same thing. Absolutely. Yeah. Or your strategy was that you just shot from up close on the tarmac, right?
Yep.
So can I ask one other question? And I don't know if anybody in chat can maybe answer this. So I'm confused about how CHS does their events because it looks like they have. I get the day 1, day 2. That makes sense to me. But at the event, they run like 2 mini regionals at the same venue, and they like alternate matches of the same of different events. I was so confused when I watched this.
I had to ping Griffin because the way that they're inputted in TBA, I wasn't even sure if they won the event, but it's like the way I don't think they have as many teams at each one.
Yeah, I got that. I'm saying there's literally 2 events at the same venue happening simultaneously on the same field. Like they literally just like have like two scenes, and they're like, okay, this is the CHS Richmond event, this is the CHS DC event, and each match is just switching between. So kind of like a double regional. But the only thing that confuses me on that is like, why, like, what's the point of that? Like, I just don't understand. Like, instead of just doing like a traditional event, then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the same thing that Nick Jr. is saying in chat. It's like I don't get the point of a one day. And maybe I don't know if somebody can correct me. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and the two venues look identical to each other or something like that. But
or they're
entirely possible.
Either ends of the event hall or something.
Maybe I don't know.
Backdrop.
I was just so confused. I was gonna message Griffin. And I don't know. So somebody says it's one stream switching between the two. I don't know. They looked identical to me, so I was super confused.
One event, two streams.
Oh, you know what it could have been? I bet you they didn't switch the overlays properly on some that I watched.
Could be.
That might be it on things, because I think the overlay like stayed over to the next match or something like that. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, I know that Richmond and DC are away from each other. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want for all I care. So okay, that makes more sense then. Thank you for some corrections in chat.
Perfect. All right, so we left off on our 8th ranked team, and that's 6,800 from Austin, Texas, and Vandergrift High School. It's Team Valor. An overall record of 34-3. They were the winners of the Dripping Springs and this past weekend the Austin district event. Making the return to the top 25, Team Valor picked right back up where they left off after their gold battle in Dripping Springs with a 10-3 record. They would take another number 1 seed after going 10-3 with a 3.16 ranking score average. I just love this machine. I think I said this last time. Just it's a very kind of tight profile robot. It's not very wide. They have one intake on the one side, but it is like tall. It's a tall robot. And it's just so good and so deliberate at all they do. A swerve drive that just doesn't waste time lining up and finishes the match with a traverse climb as well. Big things coming for Valor this season, even more so than what they've already accomplished. So they're number 1 in first in Texas right now, which shows you, just how good that they are. And they've had 2 events as well, of course, but sitting at number 1. So good luck to them. They'll be at the FIT champs here coming up. So congrats to 6,800.
God, I cannot wait to see them play against 148, 118, 3310, that sort of 3005, that sort of thing. This could be the best team in FIT. Nick, I'm sorry. I won't mention your team and how good you are this year. Michael, same thing too. I'm sorry. But yeah, 6,800 is freaking awesome. Like, absolutely love Valor. Really cool with that. Also, big shout out to my favorite looking robot on the field, Lady Cans 2881. Not just the pink, but the double catapult. Looks so cool.
Yeah.
Double catapult, double shooter is kind of where it's at this year.
Right?
I just said all right again. Dang it, Nick.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
I can't help it.
It's okay. I'm for it.
We're going to do a Mike's of the week.
All right.
So there's like a John Oliver segment, where it's like, and now this, and it's just like people saying, we could do one that says like MCs, game announcers, and fun people saying, all right. And you just,
all right.
30 seconds of people saying, all right. Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. I love that idea.
Oh, no. Up next, our 7th ranked team is 33-57 from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Forest Hills School District. It's the Comets. They have an overall record of 35-1-1. They were the winners of the Calvin University and Muskegon events. Comets coming off their gold-silver performance at the Calvin District event, and they were looking to make it back-to-back. They picked up another number 1 seed with a 3.33 ranking score average and a perfect 12-0. They would go another 6-0 in the playoffs and take home the dub. 33-57 is a high shooter, which benefits their shot and their bounce-out ratio. They don't miss often, and I think that has obviously much to do with the profile of the robot. So not the quickest, but it is accurate and very reliable. They capped the match with the 10 to 15 second traverse climb as well. And 33-57 is currently sitting the number 1 spot for Michigan. So for me, that's crazy. Back to back to back number 1 teams in their respective districts. So congratulations to the Comets, and good luck the rest of the way there in FIM.
Yeah, I know a couple of Michigan people stating that their alliance partner should be higher than 3357. I really like 3357, their robot. I think they're one of the few teams where they do specialize more in a longer distance shot, and they're probably the most accurate team I've seen for shooting from the what's the safe zone called? Why am I blanking this?
The launch pad.
The launch pad. Thank you. Yeah, they're probably a team that at least at Kelvin at their first event, they were shooting from the launch pad all day, and it was very accurate. Mike, like you said, could they be a little bit quicker in their cycles and volleys? Yeah, and I think there's some improvement to be made there. But once again, extremely accurate robot from the launch pad, and hopefully they make the shot as they're doing it. There you go. Yep. See, perfect.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you. Dang it.
You're never gonna unhear it now.
No, I won't. I didn't blame
Dad, gummit.
I'm gonna time out Nick for like 10 minutes. Dude, I still remember that. I was huddled around the old iPhone watching Bill Bill Dance. What was his name? Bill
You're right, Bill Dance.
Bill Dance. And lastly, our 6th ranked team is 1756 from Peoria, Illinois, and Limestone Community High School. It's Argos, an overall record of 15-2. They were the winners of the Central Illinois Regional. Argos, I actually wore their shirt the other day too, by the way, 7 point. Argos took the field in Central Illinois, looking to defend their win from 2019. They would take the number 2 spot with a 3.18 ranking score average and would be selected number 1 overall, and would win in 6 matches pretty handily. Argos has a back-sided intake with a turret and really likes to shoot from the launch pad, and they just have really nice looking shots from there. Argos is definitely a favorite here in the top 25 and just one of those all-around great teams. They have awesome students, awesome mentors, a great robot, well-performing robot, great-looking robot, and good luck later this season where they'll be competing at the St. Louis Regional. So that was Argos in 6th. Tyler, I think you had some comments earlier about Argos, I think. Was it about their climb, or they focus more on the shooting and not as much on the climb?
Yeah, so a couple things about Argos. From a pure teleop score, I think they're one of the best teams in the world. In regards to that, looking really, really good at that. Their intake wise, with the way that their intake is, I do think that they have to rely on their driver a little bit too much to acquire. I was almost going to say power cells to acquire cargo on it. They seemed like, I'm not struggling. Is not the right word, but they weren't at their optimal amount or optimal area what they need to be during some of the qual matches for how quickly they could acquire. Now for CIR. Great for that. I'm talking next level, right? If you want to get to that next level for things, that's where I want to see it. But their teleop shooting absolutely phenomenal. Now, Argos has a high level climb currently right now, so they did the math and said, hey, for the 10 points for high, we're just going to continue to shoot during the entire match instead. So you saw some other teams, you see 1690 do that in a lot of their matches, not all, but a lot of their matches. And Argos did climb in a few matches as well too. But that's why you see their end game at rank 160 for something like that, because they teleop is 2, and it's very rightfully so on just how well they were able to shoot. And you see in this match too, in the finals, Robotics had some issues with the robot and literally playing defense against Argos. So it's always cool to see 2 sword drives go up against each other for things. But once again, Argos, great machine, great robot. Very, very impressed. Not unexpected for me. Big fan of Argos for a long time, but hopefully they're obviously impressing the rest of the FRC world too.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, some of these matches, you have a wide open field while teams are, going to hang there at the end. And, if you have a fast shooter that can get around like Argos does, you can very much make up those points, with a few shots there. So a very great trade-off strategy that they went with.
Yeah, one of my Jack Spanglers, a friend of mine, mentor on their team. We allied with them great guy. We allied with them in 2015. Champs, great team to work with, and him and I have talked all build season long, so I've seen their progress that they went through this season there, and the result of the robot is just no question result of the hard work that they put in to make it happen. So very, very happy to see them getting the recognition that they deserve.
Very cool. So that was our 10 through 6. Before we get into our top 5 teams that Justin will lead us with, we're going to start our Vex Pro giveaway here, and then we're going to talk about maybe some teams that didn't make the top 25 that maybe could or just outside,
at least in our opinion, right? So so let's start out with the giveaway once again from our friends at Vex Pro. Is giving away a $50 gift card for that. So you're actually for this, they've been just sending me the codes for it. So you just need to message me, and I think they're just going to send me the code. Actually, send me your email just in case with that. So if you're interested in a $50 gift card, of course, from our friends at Vex Pro, they're celebrating their 10th season. Proud to have a hand in designing some of FRC's most game-changing products, including the Versa Planetary, Versa Frame System, and the Falcon 500. All Versa everything is going to be the keyword. I think we had that one other time. 3 different words, by the way. We'll put it in chat here. All Versa everything, and we'll draw from that right after we reveal our number 1 team of the week.
Great. So I think we're just going to kind of go through the 40 through 25.
Yeah,
just list them off.
40 through 26. Yeah. Do you want to read through that quickly, or do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. I'll just start with 40. I kind of give some cues at maybe every 5 or so.
Yeah.
Our 40th ranked team is 3015, then 401, 1787, 5484, 7285. 35th ranked team is 8846, then 4415. PJ, hope you're keeping up. 3005, 1730, 1153. 30th is team 2614, then 2337, 28th is 177, then 2468. Whoa. 2468.
Wow. Pressure's on.
I was just reading through. 2468 is in 27th. And in 26 is team 16.
No, make sure we type out phonetically everything for Mike. Got it. So
whatever.
Justin, do you want to start with your team that you felt should have made the top 25 this week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of issues actually with the top 25. Just I guess I would use this opportunity just to give a shout out to 3005, another great Texas team that sometimes gets lost in the shadow of some of the more powerhouse teams from Texas, but they're a great team, and it was great to see them get the win.
Christine, how about you?
Oh, sorry.
I was watching the other New England district that was happening as I was kind of in and out of mine, and I was expecting 177 to be higher.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Two district wins already for sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Mike?
I thought they'd be higher.
So we were all a little shocked to see 3015 that high. That's not my team I picked, but just Justin, we do think you're a better team than 40th in there, just so I know you guys have had 2 back to back.
Is it high or low? Like I always forget which one it is.
I think they should be higher. I think 3015.
Okay,
I don't know if top 25, but they should not be 40th.
My friend Disray got new specs.
Disray specs.
Disray specs.
Should have been higher.
But the other team, again, I'm not sure if they should be in the top 25, but 1787.
Definitely. Yeah.
1787. You think they should be? Is that what you're saying, Justin?
They're a great team. This Flying Circuits, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they were at FLR. They won FLR. Great team. Great. Arguably, probably one of the fastest, most consistent traverse climbs I've seen in person. Great shooting robot, and definitely a deserving team for sure.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, and chat, let us know which team that you feel should have made the top 25. I know a couple in chat: 2337, 6490, 2714. Also, I like the Tindo route. I like that Lost in the Sauce, like for a segment name. I'm gonna give my shout out to Sneaky Snakes. Team from Turkey.
Oh, that's your fave.
Yeah, 7285. Yeah, I mean, so they won two regionals, both in Turkey, and I think we can all objectively say that the point scoring there is lower and probably not as competitive as a regional for other ones. But Sneaky Snakes, man, when they showed off on reveal night, I was absolutely blown away. This team, absolutely dominant as they've gone through. They only have 1 loss in the entire season as well. So if you haven't seen Sneaky Snakes yet, you got to check out this team. Like I said, in Turkey, hard to sometimes give the respect that's due for a team like this, but really, really liked Sneaky Snakes. And I'm not going to get asked by some friends at Gear It Forward where they ranked, and they were 41st, by the way. All right, let's. So we're gonna go to the top 5.
You said it. You said it, not me. You said all right.
Oh, it was because everybody was quiet. So let's go. We're gonna go in the top. Yeah, I know. We're gonna go into the top 5. Don't forget all Versa everything to win the $50 gift card. Don't forget you do need to be a follower in order to be eligible, and we do give our subs some extra luck. We just rig it that way because we love you. you give us money. Why not? And don't forget, we would love to have your Twitch Prime subscription if you have a credit for that, or for just a few bucks a month. Help Fun stay loud, live, and independent. It really does mean the world to us. If you're willing to buy us just a cup of coffee or something like that. I mean, I like Starbucks. Buy me some Primo stuff. It's like $5.
Same.
Come on.
Gotta have the bucks.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Into the top 5 we go. Week 3, FRC top 25. In the 5th spot is 176 from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Windsor Locks and Suffield High School. This Aces High, 36-0, undefeated winners of the Waterbury and Western New England District event. So looking back to 2020, so they did. I didn't go to 2019 because they did compete in 2020, but 176 also won the Western New England District event. Also, 16 are on an impressive 54 match win streak. So they're proof you don't need to swerve to dominate in this game. Any drawbacks, their maneuverability is overcome with impressive driving, and an accurate turret helps them out a ton. In both events, they're able to consistently double traverse climb with 177, and at 30 points plus their scoring prowess made it impossible for other teams to overcome. How long can the streak last? You'll need to tune in to the New England District Championship to find out. Good luck to Aces High, 176. 54 wins in a row. Come on.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This team, I have 3 ranks higher. So 176, absolutely phenomenal performance. I think you said it all, Justin. This team just looks so awesome, and I can't wait to see them continue to compete in future events. Wow, what a performance by this team.
It warms my Connecticut heart to see 176 and 177 pair up and just absolutely dominate. Again, this is like another team like 88 that has been around for such a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were powerhouses back in the 90s when, there were not that many other teams, but they're still really, really good. I know that they've had some really fantastic alumni come back and really step up their game, and I'm excited to see what they do at champs. I can't imagine that there's any reason they'd have to hit up district champs this year in district, but man, oh man, it was nice to see 177 and 176 together again and just dominating. And I'm pretty sure they won their first event together, so it was cool to see them pair up again.
Yeah, and they were a team that, my first year was 2005, so they were definitely a low numbered powerhouse team in those early days. And then I remember they came to Finger Lakes in 2013. I was like, man, Aces High is coming, and they didn't have the best performance there, but they're definitely on the upswing now, and I just can't get over the 54 wins in a row. It was just the coolest. I was so excited when I saw that. I was like, this is an awesome streak that we can all kind of keep an eye on as the season progresses. So we're going to stay in New England. In the 4th spot, we have Team 125 from Boston, Massachusetts. It's the Neutrons, 27-8 overall, and the winners of the North Shore District event. So after semifinals exit at the Pine Tree event, 125 set their sights on North Shore to scoop up their first win of the season. After 12 match wins and no losses, they were the number 2 ranked team and soon joined 58-13 on the number 1 alliance. Their fast skip the high bar climb and a tuned-up machine sailed to the finals. In a tightly contested match 1 loss, they turned around to match 2 and put on the exclamation point in match 3, more than doubling their opponent's score and earning an impressive 34 hanger points. So no rest for them. 125 is back at it this weekend at Greater Boston as a final tune-up for the regular season before the district championship. So Christine, congrats to you and the rest of 125 on earning that win this past weekend.
Thanks. It was definitely a good feeling after a pretty tough exit in the semis at Pine Tree. So yeah, I'm excited for this coming weekend where we'll be hosting and running the district event and competing as well.
Yeah, Christine, your team really came alive at this event. And I think your ranking is very well deserved for something like this. And the overcome some of the issues you had at your first event, and you see this robot just zipping around, quickly scoring, looking great. I'm sure you can always want to do better, right? But overall, I thought your team did absolutely phenomenal this weekend.
Yeah, the shots were looking really great from 125. I know we were talking about that a little bit over the weekend, but congratulations, big win.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Christine. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it was nice that the ceiling wasn't made of glass with changing variables, but it was also just nice to see our drivers get way more intuitive with where they were on the field. I know that I wasn't as like frustrated watching our driver totally miss a ball that was like right near the robot, but hard to see from the driver's station. So yeah,
that is. Thank you for recognizing that. That's one of the most frustrating things. Sometimes I come off from match like there was a ball right there. You guys couldn't see it. It's like no, we couldn't. Like it just. I know you can see it from the side of the field, but from where we are, we could not see it. But also from a metagame standpoint, I think 125 is set up for success at the World Championship. I think the meta of this game is going to change. On Einstein, the first teams that start to retreat to their hangars are the teams that are going to lose. You got to stay in it. You got to keep shooting to the very last second. And teams like 125 who can put up that traverse climb super, super late are the ones that are going to really end up doing some damage at champs. So
the only thing I'm going to disagree with you there, Justin, is that I think there's going to be teams that, they're going to do the math of where that break-even point is. And if you can't drive over, position, and climb in less than 15 seconds, you might just be better off shooting. And there are teams like, like Orbit in the match where they had the highest score in the world. It took them, I think it was 19 seconds to do that. So I'm very curious to see if even those super, super high-end teams are just going to abandon the climb altogether. And maybe another topic for a later event as we go through.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be exciting to watch either way.
Scary thoughts. It is wild to see like where do we go from here? Because I mean, even watching matches this weekend that weren't my own, to the point that Tyler was making, you're especially in the playoffs, you're looking at it and you're like, okay, what would that equate to if we were to get this many shots in the high hub? Like it's going to be interesting, and I think we're going to start to see that turning point. I would say this coming week. I can't imagine it's going to take too much longer to see matches that are consistently just like, how much further can we go?
For all the years that we've complained that Endgame is worth too many points, it's crazy to see that it could be the exact opposite now. That it's not worth enough points. So, yeah. Let's go into number 3, Justin. Just got to unmute yourself.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, there was just a mute a moment, but it was for a reason that time. Okay. In the third spot, we've got Team 2910 from Mill Creek, Washington, Henry M. Jackson High School. It's Jack in the Bot, 35-1 overall, and the winners are Glacier Peak and Sun Dome district events. So Jack in the Bot picked up their only loss of the season at their first event. It was able to keep a clean sheet this past weekend. Arguably the team that, in my opinion, really showed everyone just how dominating Swerve can be, and certainly proving it this year. Their 3.75 ranking score average is the highest I saw. Certainly of the teams that I researched for my teams here. I guess you guys had one earlier that was like 3.8 or 3.9. Mike or Christine had a team that was a little bit higher.
I think I had more views, 3.92.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I saw 3.75. I was like, holy cow. And honestly, though, that's a testament not only to Jack in the Bot, but you can't get the hanger point by yourself. So the strength of the end game and climbing in the Pacific Northwest District obviously is also has stepped up a little bit as well. So after seeding 1, 2910 picked up 2930, the Sonic Squirrels. I love that team name, by the way. And 8532. After a first round bye, they absolutely took off in the playoffs, scoring as high as 142 points on their way to their second win of the season. It's another impressive win, and they look to go 3 for 3 at Bonnie Lake next weekend. Good luck to 2910, Jack in the Bot.
Ooh, I'm conflicted that this team should be higher still from number 3. I think I think Jack in the Bot is absolutely. I mean, they've been the real deal for a long time, but I'm saying in regards to the top 25 teams this week, man, this team just exemplify their speedy swerve, quick shots, and I just love this. I love this team. I love this robot so much.
And for our team, like the swerve was never really a thing that, and thrifty swerve and some of the other off the shelf opportunities made it more realistic for teams. But they were really the team, in my opinion, again, like I said, that like you saw what they were doing in the Pacific Northwest and how good their swerve was and how much of an advantage it was for them. You're like, how long can we be on the sidelines with this? And then, they're still the class of the swerve drive, in my opinion, but they've inspired a lot of teams to go swerve as well.
Yeah, they've really committed it year after year before a lot of teams kind of did, right? Like,
glad to see the Cheese Boost finally getting on board.
Before we
All
get
right,
into
Mike.
number 2, by the way, I just want to say we
said
do
all
have
right.
the prediction going on. That's about to close. It is very even. This is by far the closest prediction
Can I
we've
vote?
had.
I couldn't.
Can you vote?
I couldn't consciously.
We can
yeah,
unmod
I
you so
could.
you can vote.
All
So
the drums
No,
in it.
I could vote. If I
oh, you
wanted to.
can now. That's right, because if
Mhm.
you don't make the poll, you can do it. So
Or
the
as
two
long-
teams
yeah,
that are
as long
left
as
are
it-
27 and 111, just in numerical order. 54% of the points go to 27. 46% of the points going to 111. So it's going to be very close. And somebody's going to win, and somebody's going to lose a lot of points. A lot of fun bucks.
All the
was
drama
looking
is
for-
in the 2 spot.
That's
This one's
right.
close. This one's close. In the number 2 spot is Team 27 from Clarkston, Michigan. Clarkston High School. It's Hall of Fame Team Rush. 27 started off their season with a win at Kettering and then stepped out of the Michigan District event this past weekend in the Steel City. 27 was the number 2 seed at Pittsburgh and joined the number 1 alliance with fellow Michigan team 35-39 and 69-50. Or 69-5, sorry. 27 was an impressive shooter all event long, seemingly accurate from all over the field. That really is the hallmark of a good team, right? The second they get that second ball, they're just stop, turn, shoot, able to cycle quick and just score an insurmountable amount of cargo. They're shooting so much cargo that even in the occasional miss doesn't really impact them because of how many shots they're making. And auto, they have a 5-ball path that's really wicked. It's much different than other 5-ball paths that I've seen, which is awesome. The shooting only continues in Teleop, and their windmill climb for the traverse is quick and efficient. They definitely have the double traverse climb for their alliance going, which helped them often surpass 100 times. Even during quals, 27 was able to surpass 100 points. So a great machine from 27, certainly, and they'll head back to Michigan looking for another blue banner at the Troy event. So good luck to Team 27.
Yeah, I got to see this team play at Kettering 1 just on the first day, and I commented this last time that their improvement from day 1 at Kettering 1 to day 2 and taking that event and then going into this event, 27. But back when I was back in my day growing up, 27 was that household name, but this might be their best robot ever. It's incredible to see how good this robot really is.
Yeah, and the first time I saw them at a regional event was 2018. They came to Central New York, and they weren't that great out of the box, and they struggled a little bit at Central New York. They lost in quarters in 2018, and they ended up on Einstein by the end of the year. So a team that maybe struggles sometimes to start fast is not struggling to start fast this season. Already picking up 2 wins, and like you said, probably the best robot they've ever built.
Yeah.
So that only leaves one. Oh gosh, part of my stuff just got deleted. Oh well. So this is impressive. So obviously, in the 1 spot is Wild Stang 111. So I was like trying to remember. I was like, I knew it was Prospect, Rolling Meadows, and Wheeling High Schools. Then I looked from Arlington Heights, Illinois. It's Buffalo Grove, Elk Creek, John Hersey, Prospect, Rolling Meadows, and Wheeling High Schools. It's the Hall of Fame Wild Stang. So they're playing from a lot of different schools. 17-0 undefeated winners, the Central Illinois Regional. In the last full FRC season, 2019, Wild Stang picked up 3 blue banners on their way to Einstein. During the at-home event, they also picked up a blue banner, winning their group, and they're certainly just kind of keeping on the blue banner train this year, going 17-0. They picked up, or they partnered with 1756 and 81-22. Didn't have a serious contention or a competition in the playoff rounds there. Semifinals, they really excelled, putting up 112, 113 points in the semifinals. Finals match 2 was close, 96-89, but ultimately it was the number 1 alliance taking the win. So another great robot from Wild Stang, who definitely struggled a little bit a couple years ago. They definitely maybe had a little bit of a valley in their performance curve, but definitely firing all cylinders now. And it's great to see Wild Stang doing well.
Yeah, you look at this team from 2018 where they don't even make playoffs at championships. No blue banners, semifinalists in both their regionals. 2019, like you said, Justin, but even with 2019 and that Einstein appearance, this robot is better than what that robot was in 2019. Wild Stang here, just a very accurate shooter, quick shooter. Man, from an RP game, absolutely dominated CIR in RPs. It was pretty much going into Saturday, there was almost zero chance that they were not going to seed number one. And you're talking, above teams like Argos, Garrett Ford, Ponage, Robotics, teams like that they, were able to go up from there. So really cool. And also Tyndall just reminded me, they started a secondary team this year, a JV team, 112.
Wow. Oh, really?
112 that you'll see at the Midwest Regional this year as well. So that's pretty cool. Do that. Shout out to my buddy Kevin Koloje, who is one of the mentors of 112. And their team is called Plus One, by the way, which is
Plus One. I love that.
Yeah, cute team name. But I've had friends on Wild Sing for a really long time. There's a couple shout outs to as well Harrison, Dan, L, Dottie, and the rest of the team there who always, once again, this is reminiscent of 10 years ago for Wild Sing and also another 10 years before that as well. So maybe they're just good in the early years of a decade or something, but
early parts of a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, 2019, they had a fantastic performance too. So great team. Well deserved for this. Their ELO thing might not quite reflect it, but 111 really is a very top tier elite team and very well deserving.
Mike, do you remember the?
I had forgotten about that. Like, what's that, Justin? Go ahead.
Do you remember the robot in 2005 with the Tetris stations on the side of the field? They would just go along the field and go pick up one, pick up two.
That was Wild Sting. I forgot that was
impressive.
Wild Sting. Yeah. But yeah, going from not even getting the Wild Sting, not even getting picked a championship in 2008.
Yeah, right.
Or 2018.
2018, yeah.
And getting back to this, very cool. Good for them.
All right, let's go ahead and draw for our giveaway from our friends at Vex Pro. Once again, for a $50 Vex Pro gift card. So if you do win, please just message me either on Twitch or on Discord with your email so we can get you that code for that. Thanks a lot to Vex Pro. And let's see who's going to win. Let's see if it's going to be one of our hosts and we got to re-roll again. Or not. So
I didn't even bother entering this time, so you're welcome.
Well, Sporky,
you're welcome. We have a chance
Sporky Shark is the winner and a subscriber. So lots of rigged emotes in chat, please. Clearly, we rigged it for one of our subscribers to win. So congratulations, Sporky Shark. Shoot me a message on Discord. I know you're on there to claim your prize. And thanks again to Vex Pro for the awesome giveaway. We have giveaways on our 4 main FRC shows, FRC Recap, FRC Roundup, which are those 2 are on Mondays. And then we have FRC Pick'em Weekly, which is our fantasy Pick'em show. Make sure you check that out. And then we have, of course, FRC Top 25. Each one of those have a giveaway that will rotate from the different suppliers. So thank you to all the suppliers for your giveaways. And thanks a lot to our show sponsors who actually make this show truly happen. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for the FRC Top 25 Week 3 special. Thanks to all those who clicked the follow button. And speaking about supporting, thank you to all those who did subscribe today. Our subscriber numbers starting to come back. More viewers starting to come back. It's a great feeling. I have really high hopes for Week 4 as we continue on through that. It really means the world to us that you're tuning in, especially live. But anyway, even on YouTube too, it's crazy to think. We talk about this in the back ends of our Discord. Our viewership for things is significantly above 2019 numbers, and we thought we were going to be around 2019 numbers going in. We're not quite back where 2020 was. That was a pretty insane year before the pandemic hits, but it really does mean the world to us. So please tell our people about First Updates Now. Get them to watch a lot of stuff we have. You have made this a full-time job for me, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much. Sponsors see the value of you watching and you viewing, and that's what gets them to come in and give us money and hopefully reach you in a very positive way and let us keep making more and more content. So thanks a lot for that. Don't forget, you can catch FRC Top 25 archived next day at youtube.com/First Updates Now. And of course, live Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/First Updates Now. Don't forget, polls open Sunday afternoon and we'll close on Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Sunday afternoon is a loose term because if I want to go enjoy the rest of my day, I might open it early. So just keep an eye out for that. It will be in the Blue Lines chat on game day. And then of course on our Discord as well too. So thanks again to Christine, Mike, and Justin. Let's do a quick roundtable starting with Christine. Are you going to be, your team's competing event? Are you going to be at that one as well?
Yep. We'll be running it, hosting it, competing it, packing it up, sending it out.
Yeah. Full trifecta.
Good.
What event is that again, Christine, just so the community knows?
The Greater Boston District.
All right. Good luck to 125 and to you for helping run it as well. So, Justin?
So we are headed to Buckeye this week. 60 teams in Ohio. good contingent of roster teams headed there as well. It's always a lot of fun. We're certainly looking forward to it. Yeah, so that's where we're headed.
Mike, are you going to be catching any events on TBA this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be probably be having the Greater Boston and Buckeye Regionals up mostly, and then perusing a lot of big names and teams playing this week. So
yeah, debut 254, 2056. Yeah, and 1114 as well.
Probably be all over.
Yeah. And I will be at the Wisconsin Regional this weekend. I was looking at going to Iowa. I don't think I'm going to now. I just need to cut back on travel just for this weekend before it gets super crazy for me. Spend a little time with my family. So I will be at the Wisconsin Regional Friday afternoon and Saturday. So if you are at the Wisconsin Regional, please come say hi, and come say hi to any of us, of course, that the events will be at, and any fun hosts who are going to be at events all over the world. So we wish teams best of luck in week number 4 going in. Of course, tune back in next week for FRC Top 25. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time on First Updates Now. Talk to you then. Good night, everybody. Thanks to Kettering University for their support of this video. Kettering University hosts 3 co-op employment fairs each year for incoming and current students. Participating in the co-op employment process at Kettering is a great way to begin turning your robotics experience into a professional career to earn money towards graduating debt-free. If you are a senior, it's not too late to apply at kettering.edu/apply. Thanks to Stryker Careers for their support in this video. First alumni and mentors are making Stryker a top priority for their internships and careers. That's because Stryker knows that those in First are the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. If you want to help make the world a better place by creating life-saving medical devices and technology, get started at careers.stryker.com. Thanks for watching. If you want to join us for future fun streams, be sure to click the follow button and turn on the notification bell to know when we're live. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. View archives and unique content at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. And check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.